Welcome back, all my Minecrafting friends. This is the episode 7 player update for the Minecraft Hardcore Challenge for August 2015 Equestrian Estates. And I'm sad to report that there was one death in episode 7. But let's get to the list. Andy Doan went to the spider dungeon, got the goods, got the saddle, got the stuff, noticed the abandoned mine but did not choose to explore it at this time, came back up, did some caving, got plenty of iron, then came back to base. Granny's Got Game is next, and she went to the surface dungeon and got the saddles out of that, left the horse armor because she said that she wasn't going to need it, got lost on the way home, but then she found herself, got back to her base, and was cutting down a fat oak tree, very large oak tree. Yes. Next we have the team of Lightbringer and Heatherby. Lightbringer and Heatherby were cutting down trees to get wood, shearing sheep to get wool, found a pumpkin, got some apples, got some eggs. They both got lost at one point, but let's see. Lightbringer got back to the base, and Heatherby got killed by mobs. Finished off by a slime. That was really unfortunate, but oh well. Guess she's only gonna miss the last 2 episodes, 8 and 9. Next we have OG and Friends, also known as the Colony. They, OG and, OG and the other one, can't remember his name right now, started out at the village, and they were heading home, and they decided that that 1 Nua was equal to 1,000 blocks. Okay, they told a lot of jokes in their episode 7. They were very funny this episode. They said that the most amusing thing about OG is that he thinks he's funny. Momo found the Bay of Pigs, and teenagers love saying stone ho. Okay, they were making a rodeo and stands to observe the rodeo from, and they planted carrots and potatoes. Okay, next we have J-Gaz Mom. J-Gaz Mom built a roof over the horses and had a lot of funny dialogue with her daughter. Next we have Life with Teens and Other Wild Things. Started building a carousel. I can't wait to see how it turns out. It looks like she got a really good start on it, though. It's a very cool design. Next we have Baker Bell. Baker Bell started on her stables. She's making semi-private stalls for the horses. So each stall can hold 2 horses. And she worked on the roof and supports. Next we have the team of Scody Garbitas, Optimus 1971, and Piker Eyes. They worked on their various buildings. At one point I saw a white horse up on the roof. I think they got it down though. Scody started building a fence around the area so that they could keep the mobs away. Next we have Smithy MC. Smithy posted episode 6 and 7. So he was riding east looking for stuff, mostly in the extreme hills. He came to a swamp, but he didn't like riding through a swamp. He thought it was too dangerous, so he rode along the edge of the swamp, staying in the extreme hills biome, which he prefers. At nighttime, he went slime hunting and got 10 slime balls. And at one point, he rode his horse off a cliff and almost killed both of them. So he missed the water. Yes. Next we have, oh no, wait a minute, that was just one episode. Okay. His next episode, he found the savannah. His horse was regenerating slowly, but he regenerated quicker because he fed himself, but he did not feed the horse. He found a village. He made leads. Then he found another village, and then he found another village, and he demonstrated the method of pulling the horse across a river with a lead, and it looks like it works pretty good. Okay, so now we have Conquering. Conquering is eating melon slices. She got herself a donkey, maybe more than one, I'm not sure. She worked on her fence, and she worked on the stables, and she showed us that her stables, her house and stable design is made in the shape of a horseshoe. So that's kind of cool to see. Next we have Bong Bong, spelled with 8's instead of B's. He was collecting horses, several horses. Expanded his fence area. He let the chickens out of the pit so that they can run around with the horses. He did some farming, and he made a hay bale, or several hay bales. Next we have Johnny Raichu. He has a very fancy fence design using wool. He's making a barn also, and he's making the barn out of wool and granite. So it's an interesting choice of materials for a barn. Next we have the team of Load Central. Load Central worked on the house. They went to the far dungeons, got the Skelly dungeon stuff. Alan peed. They made a wagon, and they worked on houses. Or they started building individual houses for different players. Next we have Boonslayer. Boonslayer worked on stables, and his stable design involves using red brick on the walls, and it looks pretty good. Although he's keeping it up high so that the horses don't, brush against it. It has to be a little rough for a horse. Down where the horses are is wood, which would be better for them. Next we have Jade LF. Jade LF is making pie. She got herself a donkey. She worked on the fence, and she started working on the second floor of her stables. Next we have Nova Cookie 232. He walked home from the dungeons. He got himself a horse. He started building stables, and he made a hay bale. Next we have Technoscribe. She did some farming. She cut some trees to get wood. She worked on the roof. I think she finished the roof. And she had a mob party at her place, but they didn't get her. Next we have Philbin 3. Philbin 3 was going home. He got himself a horse on the way. Then he went home. At his home he was cutting down spruce trees to get spruce. He worked on the stables. Then he went out and got some more horses, and he's got zombies running through the stables. At this point, I don't think he has a farm. He's hungry, he's got no food, and he's living off of zombie flesh. Okay. Next we have Badheart MC. Badheart MC was cutting trees to get wood. He expanded his fence area. He killed a witch with arrows. The witch didn't have the arrows. He was shooting the witch by shooting her with arrows. Okay, and he started building a raised deck next to his racetrack area, so that you could, like, an observation stand up there. And finally we have Stormbringer. Stormbringer has got melon slices. He's cutting down trees to get wood. In an earlier episode, he had bred a horse and a donkey and produced a baby mule, which he buried in the ground, and he came back to it in this episode and it was dead. It had I guess the area he left for it wasn't big enough, and maybe it's suffocated or something, but his baby mule died. Probably when it grew up to a big mule, it didn't have enough headroom or something, I don't know, or it could have glitched into a wall. It was kind of a small space he had it in. So he started working on stables, and he was collecting sand, presumably for glass. And and I fought skeletons in my episode, and that chicken is cranking out the eggs. Yeah, I fought skeletons. I still haven't captured the skeleton dungeon or the zombie dungeon below. So I guess in my episode 8, I need to get back to that skeleton dungeon. I lost it, by the way. I'm going to have to pull up my coordinates and find it, because I don't know where it is. So I have to find the skeleton dungeon and capture it, and then make my way down to the zombie dungeon and get the goods from there, and then make it back home, hopefully. Okay, this is Mike Deering signing out. I'll see you all in episode 8, and I'm really looking forward to September. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially the first few days. See what everybody does.